Hello, you all. Before you watch the conversation with Tutor Nimashi, I have a good news for you. Engoo is offering 15% off on all its plans. Isn't it exciting? So, what are you guys waiting for? It's so easy. You just go and use my code, and you will get 15% off on all its plans. Remember one thing, this offer is valid till 23rd of Feb. For more details, go and check the description. Bye bye. Happy learning.
Hi,
Hello. Hi. My name is Nimashi and I'll be your online tutor today. How do you want me to call you?
you can call me Upasana.
Hi Kapasna, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. And what about you?
I'm doing fine too, thank you. So, before we begin our lesson, I would like to check a few things. Can
Yes,
you
sure.
hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I can hear you clearly too.
Okay.
And how about my video? Can you see me clearly?
Yes, I can see you clearly.
Okay, I can see you clearly too. Thank you. So, since this is our first class, let's get to know each other
Yeah,
better.
sure.
Okay. So, would you like to begin with an introduction or would you like me to start?
You start first.
Okay, sure. Again, my name is Nimashi. I am from Sri Lanka. Currently, I am a medical student. I'm in my fourth year now.
Okay.
During my free time, I like to read books, watch movies, and I also like to bake cakes.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to my introduction.
That's really interesting. So this is your fourth year, right?
Yes, it is.
So you are going to be a doctor of in which field are you doing this medical? How to say the
So I
sentence you
will
are doing?
become,
If
oh,
I
I
want
beg
to
your
ask,
pardon.
if I want to ask your field, like in which field you are going to be a doctor, then yeah, this is my question.
Okay, you can just ask me which field are you specializing in?
Okay, which field are you
So, well,
specializing
first
in?
I have,
Hmm.
yes, that's right. So, well, first I will have to become a general doctor. That is, I will have to get my MBBS. And currently, I'm studying to get my MBBS. MBBS stands for Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of
Hmm.
Surgery. So, once I get my degree, I will be eligible to become a general doctor. And after that, I have to have at least 2 years of work experience if I want to specialize.
Okay, so is it like you need some work experience by doing internship or just being a doctor in any general doctor you are saying?
I have to have a work experience of being a general doctor.
Okay, that's really nice. And what
Yes.
are your hobbies, Nimashi?
My hobbies are reading books and watching movies.
Okay, nice. Let me introduce myself. My name is Upasana, and I'm basically from India. Right now, I live in Delhi, and my hobbies are
Mm-hmm.
also reading books. And in my free
Mm-hmm.
time, sometimes I like to read, write as well, write articles and poems as well.
Mm-hmm.
So these are my
Mm-hmm.
hobbies. And I have just completed my graduation this year, and I have worked
Mm-hmm.
as a content writer for 1 year, and I also
Mm-hmm.
worked as an English language trainer for 1 year. And right now, I am
Mm-hmm.
a YouTuber and a social media influencer.
Oh, I see. Thank you for your interesting introduction, Kapasna. It's a pleasure to meet you. So, may I know what kind of content do you like to write about?
Uh, so the content that I used to write, it was all about the educational content. How can government teachers make their content, teaching styles better for students? So this was the
Mm-hmm.
content I used to write. But I like to write articles about the people and the things that I feel, or these are the things.
Okay, so where do you get your inspiration from?
You asking about the writing part?
Yes, that's right.
Not the inspiration, but yes, whenever I feel something special or when I feel bad about something, then I like to read. I like to write, sorry. I like to write.
Okay, I see. Well, thank you for sharing. That's very interesting. And well, today you wanted to. I went through your student's request and I saw that you selected free conversation.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay. So, yes, what would you like to talk about today?
Anything general conversation, you can tell me more about yourself. How did you
Mhm.
uh, decide to do MBBS and be a doctor?
Mhm. Okay, sure. So I was quite small when I decided to become a doctor.
Hmm.
When I was 7 years old, I saw a movie about a doctor, and I think from that point onwards, it's something I've always been dreaming about. So right now I'm in medical school because it's a childhood dream.
Okay, so was there any entrance exam to get in the medical college, or you just how did you get admission?
So I had to do my GCSE examinations in school. I did Cambridge examinations.
Okay,
So at the end of my high school year, I have to do an examination in biology, chemistry, and physics. It depends on which major you choose. So you can choose according to the major you want to do.
okay.
And since I wanted to study medicine, I chose biology, chemistry, and physics. And according to my results from that, I was able to apply to medical school.
Okay, so were you a good student in your school? You must be because you are in the medical field.
I was average, I guess.
So did you find it challenging to get in the medical college? Because it
Well,
takes a
I
lot of practice to, you have to study a lot if you are willing to be a doctor.
well, to get into medical school, I had to work hard for my GCSE exams. And yes, well, when I entered medical school, the first semester was quite challenging because it was very different. But now I'm quite used to it.
Okay, so now it's your fourth year. So how has your experience been?
The first year was frankly quite hard because I had to get used to a different lifestyle. But during my second year, I enjoyed it and I like so many of the subjects that I have to study about. At the same time, due to the pandemic, since last year, I've had to do my classes online. So it's been a quite challenging year because of online
Okay.
classes.
So your classes are more practical or it is focused on the theoretical part most of the time?
Well, until this point, it has been both. I guess the first 3 years you have to focus more on the theoretical part, but by the fourth year, you have to focus on practicals as well. So, unfortunately, because of the current situation, I'm unable to do the practicals right now. So, maybe when the situation gets better, I will be able to do so.
Okay, that's really nice. So Nimashi, I want to ask you one thing that how many languages do you know?
Well, currently, I know English and Sinhala.
What is the second language?
So, my mother tongue is Sinhala because
Sinhala.
I'm from Sri Lanka.
Okay.
Sinhala is the yes, Sinhala. Let me type that for you.
Yes.
This so Sinhala is my mother tongue, and English is my second language.
Okay. So you have also learned English as a second language. So what are the difficulties you have faced while learning it? And how did you learn it?
Actually, I went to an international school, so I started studying English when I was 3 years old,
Okay.
and almost all my life I've only studied all the contents in English. So I'm much more familiar with studying in English rather than in my mother tongue. Of course, I can speak fluently in my mother tongue as well, but in terms of studies, I'm more comfortable doing it in English.
Because I have also learned English as my second language, and it's been 4 or 5 years only. I have been practicing speaking English,
Mhm.
but it's still like when I speak, there are some mispronounced words, and still I have to work a lot to get better. So, would you like to give me any tip from your side? How can I practice my English?
Well, as I mentioned before, I am a reader. I like to read many books,
Hmm.
and since my childhood, I would always read a book out loud. Like when I read my stories, I usually like to read fiction.
Okay.
So when I read stories, I usually read it out loud. And just in case I come across a word that I don't know, I would write it down and check the pronunciation later on. And I would make it something, as in, I would try to use that word in my daily life just to get familiar with it. So that has helped me to learn like more words in English, new vocabulary. Other than that, I also watch a lot of TV series and movies. So that actually helps me learn like general English, which we use in our day-to-day life.
Okay.
Those are two of the ways I learn English, and I try to speak in English wherever I can, so that I'm more familiar with it. As in, yeah. So if I talk to a friend, sometimes I would speak in English because at home I would always speak in Sinhala.
Okay.
So
So
yes,
with your friends only you speak in English, and with your family members you speak in Sinhala. Sinhala.
yes, yes,
Okay.
that's right.
And what about your medical college? Like, do people in Sri Lanka, which language do they communicate?
Well, in general, we communicate in Sinhala, but in terms of studies, we learn in English because it's a general language for everyone.
Okay, that's really interesting.
So, how about you? How do you focus on learning English?
So sometimes I talk with my brother in English, and as I told you that I have my YouTube channel, so I shoot a lot of videos, and I will say that it is helping me out a lot. Like the more videos I shoot, the more better I get. Earlier, my pronunciation, my accent was not that good, but after shooting a lot of videos, I have got better now. So I will say that shooting videos and writing content in English helps me a lot to practice it.
I think that's great. That's really good, nice. So, well, what are you writing? Are you writing on any specific content
No, as I
lately?
told you that I have a YouTube channel, so I shoot videos related to English. So I do a lot of research that how can someone sound confident while speaking in English. So I read a lot and then I write a short content and then I shoot a video on that and I upload it on YouTube. So this
I
way it
see.
helps.
I see. So, what are the most interesting points you've learned from your research?
Uh, like earlier it was like I used to sound like a robot, but after shooting a lot of videos I sound a bit natural these days, because like when this corona thing started, so I also started my YouTube channel, and initially my speaking skills were not that good, but after shooting videos and keep working on my skills, now I can say that I have got better. And this is the thing I have learned, that the more you do it, the more you get better in it. So this is the thing I have learned from all the researches.
Oh,
So
that's great.
Nimashi, as you are preparing for medical field, then how did you come in the teaching profession?
I actually started teaching on Engoo last year.
Hmm.
As I was at home due to the pandemic, I wanted to start something new, and I came across Engoo,
Okay.
and I thought it was a very good opportunity. And I'm glad I found it because it's very interesting as I get to try out different materials and learn about different cultures. So it is quite interesting.
Okay. So how has your experience been? Do you enjoy teaching?
Yes, I do. I actually found a new hobby when I started Engoo. I didn't know I would I didn't know I would enjoy teaching, but after starting Engoo, I have come to like it really. As in, I didn't know I was able to teach, or I didn't know I have the potential to teach, but it's like finding a new skill.
But I must say that you are a very good teacher. As you
Oh,
are
thank you.
already in the medical field, but still you are teaching as well, so it's really interesting.
Oh, thank you so much.
So can you tell me about the people in Sri Lanka? What is the most common career option over there that people choose?
I guess there are a variety of career options, And in my experience, when it comes to my circle of friends, many of my friends chose medicine, but at the same time, many people choose commerce like business studies and
Okay.
accounting. And there's also a majority of people selecting IT these days because it is a leading field. So those are the three most prominent career paths people choose.
Okay, and if like here in India, if we prepare for any competitive exams, then there is a lot of competition, like a lot of people are preparing at the same time. So does it happen there as well?
It does. It does. It's quite competitive in Sri Lanka too.
Okay, and how do you commute to your college? How far it is from the place where you live?
Actually, my university is not in Sri Lanka,
Hmm.
so it's abroad, and I used to live there, but due to the pandemic, I came back to Sri Lanka.
Hmm.
But when I'm in university, I live 5 minutes away, so I would just walk to university.
So it is a hostel kind of place where you live in your college city, as you told me.
Well, I used to live in the hostel for during my first year. I lived in the
Hmm.
hostel, but following the first year, I moved into an apartment.
Okay, so right now you're living with your family members or you live alone?
So when my university classes were going on face to face, I used to
Hmm.
live alone. But now that I'm back in Sri Lanka, I live with my parents.
Okay, so what do your parents do?
My father is a businessman, and my mother is a housewife.
Okay, that's really nice. So what time it is over there in Sri Lanka right now?
Right now it is 11:17 a.m.
11:17. Okay, so we have the same time, I guess. It's
Yes, we do.
11:17 here as well.
Yes. And how's the weather like in your city today?
It's so cool these days. Usually
Hmm.
uh, it gets very cold in November, December, in January as well. 3 months are winter
Hmm.
season here.
Hmm.
And what
Oh,
about
okay.
you?
Well, in Sri Lanka, we don't have 4 seasons. We only have the dry season and the wet season. And right now, these days, it's quite hot in the afternoon, but it gets much cooler in the evening.
Okay.
And we have the wet season from May to June
Hmm.
and October to November, and well, March and August are the hottest months of the year.
Seriously, but it's really very cold these days here. Yes. So before joining this class, I just took a shower and still I'm feeling so cold.
Oh, what's the temperature?
So I'm not aware about the temperature. It may be around 5 to 6 degrees Celsius.
Mhm. I see.
Yes.
Okay, so right now in Sri Lanka, the temperature is around 29, but it will rise to 33.
By afternoon.
Yes.
So usually what time do you take classes?
These days, I have quite a lot of free time, so I would take classes like whenever I'm free. And since I am at home and I enjoy doing classes on Engoo, I would take classes most of the time.
Okay. And apart from taking classes, what else do you do?
I would read books. I like reading books as well. And I also like to watch movies. So at home, I would do these, but sometimes, occasionally, I would spend some time with my friends as well.
Okay. So
How
if
about you?
Yeah, so even I go to gym after in the afternoon at 4 p.m. and I take classes as well. I study like I'm taking classes from one of my trainers. So I take
Mhm.
classes and sometimes I also teach students. So I have a batch 10 to 11 a.m. in the morning. So whatever I know, I teach them as well. And that's the thing I
Mhm.
do. I'm really very passionate about fitness. So I'm kind of fitness freak person. So I think a lot that what kind of workout I'm doing and what I'm eating. So this is a thing I'm really passionate about these days.
I see, that's very good. And how do you find inspiration to work out? I guess sometimes I would be quite lazy about it. But what made you motivated to focus on fitness and health?
I can't say there is any particular reason, but ever since, like earlier, I used to get tired very early. Suppose I'm climbing the stairs, then after 4 or 5 stairs, I was not able to breathe properly. Then I joined gym, and after joining gym for 2 years, I became very uh, passionate about fitness. And when this
Mm-hmm.
corona thing started, so I left. I could not go to my gym, and I started working out at my home. So in my free time as well, I like to watch several videos about fitness, like what is healthy, what's not, and what kind of workout should I do. These things I like to do in my free
Mm-hmm.
time.
I see. Do you have a role model that you like to follow?
No, no, not a role model. But whenever I go gym, so I put a lot of efforts. Like I have to do this much workout, and I really like to perspire a lot these days because initially I used to hate uh, when I'm sweating. But these days, I feel like I should work out more, so I should sweat more. And so, yesterday, I made a daily routine as well that these are the
Mm-hmm.
things I'm going to follow from tomorrow. And today, I've changed my daily routine because ever since this winter season started, I was very lazy. I used to wake up
Mm-hmm.
very late at 9 a.m. But yesterday I made a daily routine, and today I woke up at 8 a.m. I did some Surya Namaskar steps, and then I ate healthy as well. And now I took bath as well very early because usually I don't take bath very early. I take bath around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. So these are the
I
changes I have brought in my daily routine today.
That's great. It's very inspiring. Thank you for sharing about it. I'm quite inspired. And is there any other question that you would like to ask me?
Okay, you tell me about the festivals in Sri Lanka.
Well, the festivals that are coming up are actually the New Year celebrations. In Sri Lanka, we have our New Year celebrations in April. It
Hmm.
falls on the 14th of April,
Okay.
and it's called the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. And during this time, people get together with their families. They We do something called lighting the hearth, where
Okay.
you boil milk. You prepare a hearth maybe in your living room,
You prepare
and you
heart.
a hearth. It's called.
Okay,
Let
heart.
me share
This
a
this.
picture with you.
Okay.
Oh, it's quite different than that. It's called the hearth. So what we do in this is we fill a pot of milk
Hmm.
and fill a pot with milk actually, and then we boil it in this way,
Okay.
and then we consider it as a sign of good luck.
Okay. Mhm.
Yes, so that's the picture. And after that, we have auspicious time to carry out traditions, and then we would have a family meal, a traditional Sri Lankan meal together with our family, share gifts, and basically celebrate.
So, what is the most common food that you often eat in your country?
So the staple diet of Sri Lanka is rice and curry.
Rice and curry.
Yes.
Okay. And
So
Mhm. So, do people often cook at a home or do they order from outside?
we usually cook at home.
Okay, that's nice. Because like whenever I have talked to Engoo tutors, so they always told me that they order from outside, and most of the people who
Oh,
are living in foreign countries, so they most of the time order from outside.
I see. Oh, okay. Oh, it seems like we have come towards the end of the
Yes.
class. Do you have any last
No,
questions?
no, no. It was really wonderful, Nimashi. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me for your class. It was a pleasure having a lesson with you, and I enjoyed our conversation very much.
Yes.
I hope to
Same
see
here.
you again.
Yes.
Take
Have
care.
a nice day. Bye
Goodbye.
bye.